for me, success is being happy, right? And being happy in today's context is actually not as easy as it sounds.
No.
It's not easy because you have a lot of obligations. Obligations of other people's expectations, right? Your family society standards. But how can you persevere and then you can emerge happy at the end of the day? I think that is very important.
Hi, my name is Eric. Welcome to this episode of Epic Nation, a platform for me to pick the brains of amazing humans who are creating social impact through their life and work. This is where passions, vocations, and professional lives meet. Today, we find out more about starting and running a passion-based business with our guest, who is the co-founder of InOut Atelier, a design studio that specialises in the art of using botanical elements to enhance personal well-being. The studio aims to bridge the gap between the outdoor and indoor spaces using biophilic design principles to allow people to connect with nature. Ladies and gentlemen, the co-founder of InOut Atelier, Chia Ming Kuang. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Ming Kuang.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about InOut Atelier and what inspired the beginning of the business.
I think like what you mentioned earlier on, we started the business selling terrariums, right? So now we have moved on to do preserved moss installation. But how this whole entire business started is because actually I have to date back more than a decade ago. So when I was 18 years old, I picked up my very first terrarium. Okay, it was actually at Cine Leisure. Okay, anyway, I was in one of the boutique shop and then I went in, right? So they have a few pedestals, and this pedestal, they feature some of the terrariums that they're selling. So I went over, I picked up one terrarium. Okay, it was a decent size, about 10 cm diameter and 18 cm height, not big, not small. So I was very intrigued because that was the very first time I saw a terrarium, right? But then, I was looking around, trying to understand what is it, and then I saw the price tag and I got a shock of my life. That size, right, easily it's more than, I would say $100. So at that point of time, I was only 18 years old. Of course, I don't have money, right?
Yes.
So I got very disgruntled. I'm like, hey, how come so expensive? So I got very disgruntled and I tell myself, one day if I start my business, right, I'm going to do terrarium. Yeah, so fast forward, me and my friends, over a meal in year 2014, we just ORD not too long ago. Some of my friends already have their own full-time jobs already. Then, because we kind of like, I wouldn't say distance, but we all have our own life already, right? So one day someone just asked, hey, let's start a business. Then of course the next question is, sell what? So we just, I just say, hey, let's do terrarium . Then it just all started from there.
So the business started because you were disgruntled and then you wanted to provide affordable terrariums for the masses.
Yes.
So oftentimes when we start businesses, we often find a problem that we want to solve. And for you, it is really, why not create a business and then solve this problem that I have and then bring the solution to people who might benefit from it.
Yeah. At that point of time, terrarium was still a very niche thing. Nobody knew about it. So I think fast forward to 2014, a few of my competitors also came up together. I don't know, it's just coincident, right? Then
it's like a trend.
Yeah, the trend just picked up, right? And then all of us just come together, and because of competition, right, the price got very competitive, and I think we really managed to bring down the price of terrariums from that year on.
Wow. Yeah. What does InOut Atelier mean for you and your fellow co-founders?
I think we are very heavily influenced by what was taught to us back in the days in poly. Okay, I studied environment design, so we are spatial designers by nature. So we do landscape design, architecture, urban planning, all this kind. Anything outside of interior we do. So you're asking me how what it means to me, right? It's really like bridging the gap between the inside space and also the outside space. So we all started in InOut Atelier, knowing that in a very near future, I don't know how far that is, right? But we really want to establish a design studio that is very all-encompassing. So we want to do not only just terrariums, right? We also want to marry the difference in space between the inside and outside through product design, interior design, even like why we say visual comm, right? So it's really a design studio that do all these things.
Wow. Okay. So what kind of products and services do InOut provide? Does InOut provide for its customer?
Right now, we do customized terrariums for a lot of our clients. And some of these clients can be corporate as well. So we do receive a lot of corporate bulk orders, especially with Christmas coming up, right? So we do have a lot of corporate companies that request for us to do terrariums for their staff. Customized terrarium is one of them. We also do mostellation design. So mostellation is actually a term that we coin, InOut Atelier coin. It's actually a combination of a word moss and installation. Okay, so we do preserve moss installation. We preserve the moss ourselves. We make it into an art piece that you can hang at home. It can not only just be hang at home, it can be something that you can lay flat on the floor or even on the table as a centerpiece as well. So it's quite versatile in that sense, and there is no maintenance to it. So this is how we actually bring the outdoor in, through very small interventions like that, very small steps, small elements like that. We also do corporate workshops and also public workshops for everybody who is keen to learn how to build terrariums for themselves, or even the mostellations frames that we do. So they really come in, they really learn how the techniques of what we do. My 10 years of knowledge and experience of building terrarium is really condensed into that 1 or 2 hours for them.
Don't you also think that building terrarium as well as maybe your mostellations, right, there is a very therapeutic effect to it, that you can actually exercise your creativity? Because to be honest, I went to one of your workshop sessions and I felt very calm doing the thing that is, applying preserved moss onto the frames and then putting them together, almost like creating an artwork, right?
Yes.
And the whole process for me was very therapeutic and peaceful, and at the same time challenging as well, almost like I was in a flow state. Can you explain a little bit about the process of engaging in such activities for our mental wellness?
Okay, firstly, we need to understand the whole idea of biophilic first, in order to really answer that part lah. So biophilic, or rather biophilic design is a style, right? It's a design trend, it's a style, right? But all of us, right, as a human being, we all had this innate in us one. We really yearn to be closer to nature. It can be anything, it can be like if you have pets at home, right? You have pet dogs or even cats at home, right? Every time you want to play with them, right? You will feel happy, right?
Yes,
you have this feeling of happiness, right? Yeah, and then when you are stressed, you just want to look out your window for that few seconds, and then you will just take yourself away for that brief moment. Okay, so all these things have an explanation, one, and it's actually called biophilia. Yeah. So when you see, when we do the workshop for them, within that 2 hours when they are building it, they are forced to focus on that artwork that they are doing. And this artwork that they are doing is heavily relying on botanical elements. So by touching, by feeling, by smelling it, and by handling it, right, it is also a process of them taking away from the stress that they are going through in their daily lives. It can be work stress, family stress, whatever stress that they have. So for that very brief moment, only 2 hours, they just feel relaxed and calm.
It's almost like an escape,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Really love it. So how do you come up with your mostellation and terrarium designs? How is the process like, and where do you begin?
It actually all begins, you need to understand nature first, right? Okay, so for terrarium, right, I always tell people how to create a very naturalized landscape. You need to understand how nature is formed.
Okay.
Right. So when you have two tectonic plates crashing into each other, you form mountains. Right. So mountains is formed like that.
Geography 101.
Yeah. So this is actually very basic geography, right? I think most of us learned this before, right? Then over, millenniums or even centuries or decades, right? Then, the vegetation will just take over. So underneath all this greenery that you see on a mountain, right? Underneath them is all the grey stuff, the hardscape. So in order to do a very naturalized looking landscape, you need to understand this kind of concept first. Then you build your landscape. So it also tell you the process of kind of like how to do the terrariums really from there, right? Then for mostellation design, you just have to look at images, if you can immerse yourself in nature, even better. Go and take a hike or something like that at Bukit Timah Hill, look at the ground covers, look at how the forest floor is. You take images from there or inspiration from there, and then you can do your artwork from there on.
Do you think that with COVID and circuit breaker, where everybody is just cooped up at home, there is increased appreciation for nature, because we are almost like during that period was pretty tough for all of us from a mental wellness perspective, where we can't go anywhere and we don't have distraction anymore. We're just really faced with our own thoughts, right? and we're just in probably in the four walls of our homes and being with our own thoughts, and that can be quite maybe depressing for a lot of people. How do you think the appreciation for nature is amongst the crowd right now?
I can totally understand. And I mean, I can understand why, because I collect plants myself. I'm a collector of rare and exotic plant. And I can see after circuit breaker, oh my God, the price of the plants actually skyrocketed. Yeah, like many, many times. And a plant that I used to buy for like $16 now can cost like thousands of dollars.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, you're right. So I am very, I can see that there's a trend in people wanting to get into plants, botany, or even gardening, right? To take themselves away from, all the stress that they're feeling at home, being cooped up in these four walls. Yeah. So I can see a lot of people wanting to get more terrariums as well, to look, or even want to learn new stuff, learn how to build a terrarium for themselves. Yeah. Can totally see that changes over there.
Speaking about configuration or doing little things, what are some of the things that people can do easily to apply biophilic design principles in their homes?
Okay, there's a few. Okay, so I listed like one already, right? Like open up the windows, allow daylight to come in, and of course, when you allow daylight to come in, you also allow yourself to look out the window, right? It feels better that way. So this is the cheapest alternative to a biophilic design.
Just open your window.
Just open your window, lah. Yeah, that's number one. Number two is you can have natural stimuli indoor. Okay, things like having a plant at home. Okay, having a plant at home. If you don't have green fingers, excuses by the way. If you don't have green fingers, okay, you think that you cannot maintain.
No, some people really don't have green fingers. They have a plant within 3 days, they kill it.
Must learn one. This kind of thing must learn one.
Me, myself included. Yeah. So even the simplest plant to maintain, like your cactus, also can die one. No.
There's reason to it one.
Okay.
Okay. You need to understand more, ma. Okay, but never mind. If you don't have green fingers, right, you can always opt for artificial plants. Yeah, so this is something that I will not go into. Okay, I personally do not really advocate like having a fake plastic plant at home lah. I mean, environment is one thing, right? Another thing is maybe because some of the artificial plant, they don't look real, so a bit fake. So, but then if you have all these elements at home, you will definitely no doubt feel better when you're looking at them. It creates a more wholesome environment lah. Yeah, you not only just artificial plant, even like small water feature. The sound of water running, okay, or even dripping sound, okay, all these things can help you in that sense. You help you feel better. Of course, you don't know that you feel better, right? But they all adds up.
Right.
Yeah.
Having natural elements within the house.
Yes, correct. That's very, very important. Then if not, you can engage yourself in all these natural activities lah, like going down for a walk, right, in a park. Okay, walking your pet, like your dog, right? So all this will also contribute. Or if not, you can come to us lah. Okay, we can conduct the terrarium workshop for you.
Yeah, you can come to InOut Atelier, get your terrarium done, or go through a series of very fun and engaging workshop with Ming Kuang, right? And also really understand and learn about the various natural properties of different, I would say, plants, and also the species of mosses that they use, right? So for what's the difference between real moss and the ones that you have in your studio that you use for your projects?
Okay, so they are actually all real, by the way.
Yes, all real.
They're all real, by the way. Yes,
all
correct.
Real.
So it all started last time. We started doing terrarium first, but then as a small business, when we procure the mosses in big batches and we do not turn them over in time to become terrarium for sale, right? What happened is that they are perishable goods and they will die, right? They will die. So it becomes a very lousy business, right?
Yes.
You buy things and then you cannot sell and then they just die there.
Reach expiry date, then
yeah, correct. So they are perishable. So it's not a very good business model, by the way. So we need to crack our brain to think about how we can give all these mosses a second life. Give them a second life. So during my school time, during the holiday period when I'm studying in NUS, right, I just kind of like R&D.
Okay.
Think about how I can do a lot of research and do a lot of testing.
Wow.
On how I can preserve the mosses. So after I graduated, I kind of like devised a way to do it already lah. So then all the mosses that I put on the wall, in my client's place or even in my studio, right, they are all made of real mosses that I actually use for my terrariums, but then they are preserved. When I say they are preserved, right, they are not dead, they are just not living. So they are somewhere like, I would say,
dead nor alive.
yeah, I would say like they are like Captain America, like frozen in ice like that.
Wow.
Yeah, then there is a way, if you include some catalyst to it and then you go through some processes, they can be rejuvenated one.
Can you revive?
Can.
Huh.
You can.
Wow. Okay.
You need some catalyst, you need to add something inside, do some processes to it, then it will be revived. But then because we are in the business of preserving them, I would not bother to go and revive them. If I want to revive, I don't preserve in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the process of reviving them is a very long and tedious process. You need to have all the right conditions, like the humidity level, the temperature, the amount of light that they receive. Wow. Very complex one.
I had a chance to attend your workshop and also have a touch on the mosses itself. It is almost like, it's a very nice feeling. It's very fluffy and very nice on the touch. And when I was working with it, I realized that every strand of moss has its unique, I would say, look, right? There's no one that looks the same. And so that can be said that for every moss frame that you put out to the world, every piece is unique.
Yes. There is no identical one. There definitely there's no two piece that's alike, confirm one. You can have the same design, but it's just not 100% the same because they're all handmade.
Yes.
Yeah, and the structure of the mosses, they are all natural elements. So you can't find something that is 100% similar or identical, right?
It takes a lot of courage to quit a full-time job to pursue a passion. So tell us a little bit more about how your life has changed since you quit as an architect.
So for some context, in the past, when I'm not an architect, but I do work in an architecture firm. So the expectations of us is we need to get the work done and do whatever it takes to get the work done, including OT. Okay, I need to do a lot of OT. So just to give you some context, how was my life back then? Monday to Friday, of course, working, right? So OT every single day. Okay, this is given. Okay, sometimes when I go home, I still bring the work home to do. Okay, then I sleep at night, right? So I work all the way until the wee hours. Then the next day, of course, early in the morning, before sunrise, I already wake up already. Then after that, I go to work and I repeat this whole process. Saturday and Sunday is my best time. Okay, it's not that I have a lot of time at home to do to have my me time. Saturday, Sunday, basically, I bring the work home to do lah. So nobody disturb me. I don't receive email. I don't receive call from consultants, clients, or whatever, right? Or even my colleagues. So that's the best time for me to complete the work, okay, for my company, So I became very stressful, and I can see that my mental wellness is actually dipping a lot. I bring my emotions home a lot, and my family members they felt the wrath of me right? So they kena so not good. So then I was thinking, and then at the same time, InOut Atelier was seeing a lot of rates. Seeing a lot of rates, like my accounts, that's a lot of rates because we don't have activity. I was so busy, right? Everybody's so busy with their full-time jobs. We got no time to do the activity for InOut Atelier. So we start to see a lot of rates, but we still got rental to pay, right? So I think one of us, we kind of like asked, should we just close down the business because since there's no activity? And at that point of time, it was quite pivoting for me. I felt, oh my God, this is something that I love to do, and it's like always a retreat for me. But then I have to see this close without even realizing the full potential of what this business can be, right?
Yeah.
And our mission and vision and all these things. So I felt very wasted if let's say we were to just close down the business like that. So I tell myself, okay, why not I just take the plunge and do it Anyway, I do have a degree to back me up Okay, this is the only saving grace that I have, right?
What sacrifices have you made in the process of the trade-off, between last time being a full-time architectural firm, and then now being full-time in InOut?
I don't have stable income,
No stable income.
That's the confirm is a trade-off, because now I'm running the business myself, right? So, the good thing is that I do not have the kind of stress that I used to have. That what the stress previously was meeting deadlines, expectations of bosses and clients, and all these things, right? But now it's more within my control. And actually, I always tell my architecture friends who are very jaded with their job right now. So I tell them, you are if you can graduate, from NUS with a master's degree, it shows that you are very hardworking.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you like your job, go ahead lah, continue, right? But if you don't like your job, try something new lah.
I am very impressed by the fact that not only you quit because, you didn't like your job. I'm sure you love some aspect of being in an architecture firm, being able to bring the knowledge that you have from school to practice, and also getting enough exposure in the world of architecture. But you decided very intentionally that you wanted to be more peaceful. It seems to me very counterintuitive to a lot of people, maybe, that why would you quit such a lucrative career? So what do you have to say to these people?
You never know if you never try lah. I think that's the only thing that I can summarize this whole thing, right? Because I already started the business, so I got something to fall back on. At least people know that InOut Atelier is doing terrariums. I'm not starting from scratch. So I think the very good thing about this is that in year 2014, when I started my first year in NUS, right, I also started InOut Atelier. So even though, yes, I'm doing this sideline, it's a hobby business, I may have some trade-off with my grades lah, right? Confirm one. I still remember Monday is exam, Saturday and Sunday, right? I'm still at the flea, at the flea market selling terrariums there. Then of course my result is not as good as I would love to lah. But then I think it's a very good thing that, or even for students right now, okay, if you are studying and you have something going on, you're studying, but then you have ideas and you want to explore, take this chance to go and explore. Okay, everything happens for a reason, and whatever I have today, right, is actually based on the effort that I've done previously, right? So even learning how to build terrariums when I'm in poly, you have to understand when we hit legal age, 18 years old, people are clubbing, right?
Go party, right?
Go party, right? I spend all my money on plants on it.
Well done.
So everything happens for a reason, and it's how you can, turn this into a business and stuff like that.
So what is your definition of success? Because it seems to me that what other people think is successful, which is to land a great job, to be in high-flying positions in the corporate world, compared to maybe starting something on your own and really pursuing what you believe in, and while understanding there are certain trade-offs and willingly make the trade-off to really pursue that passion. What is your definition?
For me, success is being happy, right? And being happy in today's context is actually not as easy as it sounds.
No.
It's not easy because you have a lot of obligations. Obligations on other people's expectations, right? Your family, society standards. But how can you persevere and then you can emerge happy at the end of the day? I think that is very important. For me, I'm happy every single day. Do you know that, ever since I quit my job, a year plus ago, and started doing this full time, I don't feel I'm working at all,
Love it.
So it's very stress-free. I have the control and autonomy to the time that I kind of like used, right? How many hours I want to work. Even now, Saturday, Sunday, I'm still working, but to be honest, I won't use the word working lah, right? It's just I'm just going back to my studio to do something. Yeah, to do things. And I don't need to clock in at certain hours, and I don't have to clock out at certain hours. I feel like going home, I just go home lah. Yep. Nobody's controlling me. So everything is in my control. Right? So of course, how you want to do this and turn this into a lucrative business, that one is another thing already. Coming back to the subject on being successful is really being happy. I can tell you I'm happy right now, but am I truly successful? I wouldn't say that I'm truly successful lah.
Well, if you think that your definition of success is being happy, and you're happy right now, you are very successful, right? Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
So what advice would you give younger people who are looking to turn their passion into a business? Things that they want to start, right? What advice would you give it to them?
What I did was whatever spare time I have in the past, I will always just spend it on my craft. I will improve my craft. So whatever, for students who are still in their early 20s, right? If you have spare time, Saturday, Sunday, go and do something. go and explore something. It can be anything, you know. If you're interested in baking, go and bake. Right. If you're interested in painting, go and paint. Because at the end of the day, if you are very good at doing what you're doing, and if let's say you post your stuff on social media and you are getting tractions, right, all these traction can be converted and can be monetized one, no? So if you don't try, right, you will never know. You must always take the very first step one. Yeah, if you have a hobby, then go ahead and explore that hobby and see how and what various platforms you can use to kind of like showcase your stuff. Yeah, I think that is very important. The very first thing that a lot of my friends who has a passion for something, right, they just sit on it, lor.
Yes.
They just sit on it.
I'll do it when I have time.
Yeah, I do it when I have time, or you know, school already so tired, then or work is already so tired. I don't have the time or the energy to go and do other things. But if you don't do, you got nothing, what?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so taking the first step is always very important.
What about the next step when you talk about monetization? Because I think this will be a very useful advice for people who want to know how to monetize or turn their passion or hobby into something that pays.
For InOut Atelier's case, my very first, we actually went to the flea first before even we got a website. So very thankful to my friend who actually introduced us to this flea market called Public Garden. Whether they are still around, I'm not sure. But then we just go, we pay for the rent, you know, we made some investment in terms of the capital, right, to pay for the rent over there. We sell our stuff and then, our stuff can sell it. So it's like, not bad what. Then, you know, from there we just move forward. Okay, for InOut Atelier, we only started with a capital of $400 only.
Love it. Okay.
Each of us, back then, you know, after we ORD, we just only put $100 each. We got 4 of us. So it's like only $400, you know. Yeah, so you need to start somewhere, right? Even if it's very small capital, right? You just need to start somewhere. You don't have to think about, I need investor, you know, I need tens of thousands of dollars into this business, injection. No need. Just start somewhere. Yeah.
Start anywhere.
Rejections, they are so common. Well, I have so many projects that is in the pipeline that I was anticipating, and then after that, and these are like high 5 digits kind.
Yeah.
I was anticipating, but then of course a lot of disappointment. What I'm trying to say is, when you have rejections, you just have to understand that this is part and parcel of life as well.
Yeah.
With regards to anything, not just business, right?
Yeah.
With regards to anything and everything. So, well, this kind of rejection, okay, is not as painful as the kind of stress that I'm going through previously.
Wow,
in my
okay.
company. So this is like no kick one to me.
So what is your vision for InOut Atelier?
Okay, it's a design studio. We are going to be a design studio in the near future. And this design studio, of course, will cover all the biophilic elements, biophilic design in general, whereby we will cover all disciplinary in terms of design. So that will include product design, interior design, landscape design, lighting design, okay, even illustration and all these things will also be, hopefully, you know, cover biophilic design. So in the future, clients will be coming to us, not because we offer them an interior design services, but, you know, interior design plus biophilic design services.
Okay, one last question. Where can people find you online and your business? Or you lah, I don't know, depending on whether you want people to find you.
Well, my website is www.inoutatelier.com. So InOutAtelier. .com. So you can actually make a purchase from there. If not, you can also find us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is WeAreInOut.
We are InOut.
If you have any questions, you can also
drop your LinkedIn.
Yeah, my LinkedIn, you also can go and find me. You can type my name and then you can just find me. My name is Ming Kuang.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If our content resonates with you, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to our channel on all platforms that this podcast is on. This is Epic Nation, a project by the folks at Epic Dialogue, a Singapore-based marketing agency that helps change-making businesses create social impact through our sustainability branding, communications, and digital marketing solutions.